get back into our building here and scrapping stuff. And if you're not watching this live, or if you come in the middle of it, I'm gonna have this up on YouTube. We'll have the archive video up there, so you'll be able to access this later. And I'll post the YouTube channel on my channel here at a later time once I get everything up and guaranteed that it's working. We scrapped most of the trees and everything by now. Doesn't look like there's anything really outside. Go ahead and choose this and scrap it. The oil and the steel out of it. Go ahead and scrap. Yeah, go ahead and scrap that too. I've scrapped everything outside. I'm gonna go ahead and run inside. Scrap most of the yellow stuff. Sometimes I'll leave some of it. I don't use rugs too much. I'm gonna go ahead and scrap those. I'm gonna go ahead and leave that container there. Scrap. Now this one has stuff in it. See, it's got mentats and there's a couple of cups in there. Generally, if you scrap something here, it's got something inside of it, it'll be either dropped on the floor or added to your workshop. And this one's just going to drop it on the floor. The mentats are just going to fall. If I want to, though, I can look at them, hit B, choose to store them in the workshop, and they'll be stored. So beer bottle, I'm going to scrap that. Scrap that. Whiskey bottle, let's go ahead and scrap it. Scrap the rest of this bureau. Yep, everything went to the floor. Scrap everything. Now this one you can't scrap, so you're just going to store it. You want to clear it out of the way. Scrap all that. Scrap this broken door. Wooden frames. Scrap this. Scrap that. Scrapping these. Alright. Scrapped a lot of this stuff in here. Not too much longer now. Now we'll go ahead and move upstairs. Any scrappable stuff here. Safe. Mannequins. A dead ghoul up here. Actually, I'm gonna go and take this, store it in the workshop. Scrap, scrap, scrap. Go and scrap the desk too. Let's just flush it down. I'll leave the chair alone. We got most of the stuff scrapped. Grab the lamp here. I mean, everything, no matter how small. See if you can scrap it, or if you want to scrap it. Leave the couch. Scrap the bookcase. Table. Throw. Rio. Alright. We scrapped pretty much everything, and we'll go ahead and grab whatever's on the school and the one downstairs.
This is Diamond City Radio, and I'm,
Cigarettes. So, if you do have anything in your inventory that you want to ditch to the workshop, come in here, hit X, Y to store all your junk, back out. Back into workshop mode. fire. I'll leave that alone. Helps to have a few containers so you can store some stuff. Alright, so we have pretty much everything scrapped down. We've got a pretty good stockpile. This place has 3 people. Some of them will have 0. Some of them will have, more or less. If you have at least 2 people, what I normally recommend is if you have any other settlements where you've been dumping your junk, I choose to dump most of mine at Sanctuary. What you'll want to do, choose one of your settlements, or settlers, and down at the bottom you see where it says RB for supply line. Hit your right bumper, and choose to send them to either Sanctuary or another settlement that you've already set up a supply line with Sanctuary. Like, I know the Red Rocket truck stop's one of them I've set up. You send her there. Before we do this, I'm going to show you what happens. I'm not going to send her just yet. Let's go over and let's say we want to build a wooden structure of some sort. So we go into the wood, go into prefabs, for the sake of it. Now you'll see where it says wood, I have 1,069, and steel, I have 214. If I go back and I choose to supply line her and send her to one of my connected settlements, go make her supply line. Now when I go back into my wood prefabs, you'll see I've got 3,000 wood, 650 steel. That's because she's already established the supply line. I can use the material and parts there at any one of those places. So I established my supply line, so I've got more stuff to work with. Another thing you can do, this place only has a regular workbench. It doesn't have like a tool bench for armoring, like your armor, or for your weapons, which would be a problem if you're wanting to upgrade. However, if you have stuff in your inventory here that you just want to break down, what you can do is just drop it all. Pipe pistol. And the rest of it's all stuff.
Why humans like cats so much?
Drop it all. Then you can just choose to scrap it from right here. It'll give you the same stuff: plastic screws and circuitry. Pipe pistol. And it's a quick and easy way to get a little more material if you got some stuff already hanging out there. Alright, so like I said, if you're just building to have a place, you're not going to really need this whole guide. If you're building and you want to actually do the settlement part where you try and meet all the requirements and you keep everybody happy and all that stuff, what you have to do is make sure that the things up here that are red are no longer red. There's also a requirement of 1 food per settler. So I've got 3, so I'll need at least 3 food. I have 1 water per settler. So I'll need 3 of those. Power, there's no requirement. For defense, they don't really explain this, but defense, the requirement by those numbers is your food plus your water number. So if I'll have 3 of each, it'll be 6. Or if I have 8 food, 4 water, it'll be 12. So your defense is going to be required based off of your food plus your water together. And then you'll need beds for each of your settlers. Now, the defense by the numbers is different than what I would call actual tactical defense, which is actually how well this place will hold up. One of the things I do is to start is I start setting up kind of a tactical perimeter. So I normally will grab a gate. I'll choose the best 2 locations to put entrances and exits, and the road's a pretty good one, obviously. Back it up as close as I can to where the boundary line is, and go ahead and place it. All you have to do is select it. You scroll through here, see which one you want. It'll show you what materials they take. Select one, hit A to place. Once it's green, and you don't like it there, you can hit B and store it. And now, when you go back, you'll have a little 1 down there. Shows you to have one of them in your inventory ready to go. Go ahead, throw this back down. And now, you can kind of look around, see where your next entrance is. I always recommend having at least 2. Gives you a good place so that your caravans don't get all tied up at one location. So I'm going to go ahead, probably place this one right about here. It'll go out through the woods. Got a gate at each location. I don't like how this one's sitting, so I'm going to pick it up. If you pull your left trigger, you'll spin it clockwise. Right trigger goes counterclockwise. I'm going to spin it around. It's actually facing the right direction. Place it. And I normally pick the other junk fences. Got some that require rubber, some that don't. You want to see how many you can build up in the top. Where it says junk fence, it'll tell you how many of that particular part you can make. We'll grab this one right here. This one requires a little less wood and steel, a little more rubber. We'll go ahead and use this. Line it up next to my gate as best I can. Place it down. I normally build a full perimeter. This is a little bit smaller. Buildable area settlement, which is good because each one of these that you use counts towards that size meter up in the top, which is how much stuff you can possibly build. Alright, so let me go ahead and put that down. Now, looking at it, I can't get out of here, so an enemy won't be able to get in through that gap, so it'll be okay. I like the junk fences. I was originally doing this with the structure walls before I knew the junk fence was a thing. And having the structure walls there, they snap together, but they won't go over everything quite as well as the junk fence will. Go ahead and continue these around. Here's something you may run into. Here, this doesn't want to settle in between here. You can kind of tweak it and just play with it, see what you can make happen. There is a spot somewhere that it likes. You want it way back here. Alright, so what I'm going to do is grab it, spin it around, find a good spot that it'll settle into.
Well, more of a rumor, really. But that's kind of like news.
Yeah, there we go. So that blocks it off.
Anyway,
You get in or out of the gate.
vault here in the Commonwealth. So there's that vault. It's number 81, and it stays pretty much closed all the time, right? Well, the rumor.
This buildable area goes out, but there's nothing really usable here. I'm going to follow this rock line.
People are saying there was some kind of
And actually,
disease outbreak. I don't
probably
really know
turn this.
how serious it is or whatever, but you might want to think about
What we'll do.
the vault. I mean, avoiding the vault.
What we'll do is
Only so much you can do to avoid diseases, right? But I mean, the vault is right there.
this is what it is. Part of it's just using terrain to your advantage. Go ahead and drop that in there. Drop that right here. Now this part, there's not going to be an enemy that's going to be able to climb that. So what we can do at this point, leave a little gap right here. Place that on that little incline where they could probably climb up. Down.